Agentic AI applications execute iterative loops with dozens of steps for a single request, where each step carries a different risk profile. A single guardrail configuration cannot address the varying security needs across these steps. The InvokeGuardrailChecks API solves this by operating in detect-only mode without requiring guardrail IDs or versions. You can apply safeguards per request without creating guardrail resources, allowing you to specify which checks run at each point in your workflow. You configure checks at each agent loop step, giving you the flexibility to adjust safeguards as your application evolves. The API returns severity and confidence scores for custom thresholds, enabling you to implement actions like block, pass, retry, or log based on your requirements. You can detect content filters, prompt attacks, and PII independently, with prompt attack detection exposed as separate safeguards for jailbreak, prompt injection, and prompt leakage vectors. When migrating workloads to AWS, you traditionally needed to manage storage migration separately from compute and network, requiring additional tools, workflows, and intermediate storage platforms that add cost and complexity. AWS Transform now supports migrating block storage directly to Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP in public preview. You can migrate block storage to FSx for ONTAP from any source vendor including NetApp, Dell, Pure Storage, and VMware environments. AWS Transform replicates block storage data directly to FSx for ONTAP volumes as part of the same migration wave that handles compute and network, eliminating separate migration tools and intermediate storage platforms. This approach reduces the cost and risk associated with managing multiple migration workflows while providing access to ONTAP enterprise capabilities combined with AWS scalability. Organizations need to control where users can sign in to the AWS Management Console and which accounts they can access to meet security and compliance requirements. You can now use resource-based policies to restrict console sign-in at the account level, limiting access to expected networks. For organization-wide enforcement, you can apply resource control policies through AWS organizations. These policies are evaluated both during initial sign-in and whenever the console session requests new credentials. You can combine these policies with AWS Management Console Private Access to control both the network's users sign in from and the accounts they can access. This capability is available at no additional cost in all AWS commercial regions. Memory-intensive SQL Server workloads require substantial RAM while incurring high licensing costs tied to FCPU counts. Amazon RDS for SQL Server now supports X2M instances that address both challenges. You can deploy X2M instances with up to 4 TB memory and a 32:1 memory to VS-CPU ratio, providing the capacity needed for demanding workloads. The RDS Optimized CPU feature lets you reduce SQL Server licensing costs by 50% or more compared to X2ITN instances by optimizing the vCPU count while maintaining memory capacity. You can scale to 64 vPOC and 256K IOPS to handle performance requirements. You can modify existing instances or create new ones through the RDS Management Console, AWS SDK, or CLI. X2M instances support on-demand pricing and qualify for AWS database savings plans. New partners face a complex process to become ready to sell with AWS, requiring navigation through profile setup, compliance verifications, tax and payment configuration, and marketplace listing creation across multiple documents. AWS Partner Central agents solve this by automating the onboarding journey. You can build complete partner profiles automatically as the agent pulls information from your company website to populate industries, solutions, and capabilities. You get step-by-step guidance through tax, banking, and compliance requirements with clear explanations of what to do next and why. You access a personalized roadmap on demand that replaces research across multiple documents. You integrate the agent into your CRM or partner management tools through the Model Context Protocol for programmatic access. The agent is available in all commercial AWS regions through the Partner Central console. Organizations using third-party generative AI providers face challenges consolidating workloads on AWS while maintaining security controls, cost visibility, and operational consistency. AWS Transform now offers a model-to-model migration custom transformation that addresses this by automating the migration to Amazon Bedrock. You can scan your codebase to identify AI SDKs and models across direct integrations, frameworks like LangChain and Llama Index, and agentic architectures. The transformation maps third-party models to Amazon Bedrock equivalents, providing transparent cost analysis and model lifecycle awareness that excludes models nearing end of life. It generates production-ready code changes while preserving your application architecture, swapping only the model layer. The transformation supports migrations from OpenAI, Google Gemini, Anthropic, and open-source models via Lite LLM or Ollama. For some workloads, it recommends Amazon Bedrock's OpenAI-compatible endpoints as a zero-code change path. The result is consolidated AI workloads with IAM-based security, VPC endpoint isolation, prompt caching, Amazon Bedrock Guardrails, and unified monitoring through Amazon CloudWatch. The feature is available in all AWS regions where AWS Transform is offered at no additional charge beyond standard pricing. Modernizing mainframe applications typically requires months of analysis across multiple tools for discovery, reverse engineering, and code generation, with manual handoffs between phases creating delays and inconsistencies. AWS Transform for Mainframe now provides a connected workflow from assessment through code generation for Z/OS COBOL and PL/I workloads. You can assess your portfolio to identify discrete business functions that flow directly into the reimagine workflow. The service generates development-ready requirements with full traceability that integrate with Kiro and other IDEs through MCP-based connections. You can generate interactive documentation for any requirement or code directly in your IDE. Every requirement traces back to the source code, allowing you to audit any transformation decision back to its origin. This connected approach compresses what previously took years of manual effort into months of automated modernization. Multi-stage retrieval pipelines require large candidate sets for re-ranking, aggregation, and deduplication before producing final results. Previously, you were limited to retrieving a small number of similarity search results, constraining your ability to build comprehensive retrieval systems. You can now retrieve up to 10,000 similarity search results per query, a 100x increase from the previous limit. You specify the top K parameter in query vectors API requests using the latest AWS SDK to request up to 10,000 nearest neighbors. Results return across multiple pages, allowing you to process the first page immediately while retrieving additional pages as needed. You pay a data return fee based on total result size, with the first 512 kilobytes per query free. This capability is available in all AWS regions where S3 Vectors operates. When you run applications on AWS, you need to collect and analyze metrics from both your custom applications and AWS services. Previously, this often required multiple monitoring solutions and complex integrations. CloudWatch now natively supports OpenTelemetry metrics, allowing you to send metrics via OTLP to CloudWatch directly. You can query these metrics using PromQL through a Prometheus-compatible API. This lets you consolidate custom application metrics with AWS-vended metrics from over 70 services in a single solution. Your existing OpenTelemetry, Prometheus, and Grafana tools work seamlessly with CloudWatch as a destination. The feature includes per GB ingestion pricing and 15 months of storage, and is available in all commercial AWS regions except Middle East UAE, Middle East Bahrain, and Israel Tel Aviv.